This is Lisa Harnish with Certification Partners. I'm here today with Stephen Schneider and Patrick Lane for the latest CIW webinar, Preparing Your Students for Today's Internet, the updated CIW Network Technology Associate courseware. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Doing well. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our session.
All right. One more time, just for everyone's benefit and for our recording, we are recording today's session, and we will post it on our webinar on our website shortly afterwards. Everyone who is attending today will receive a copy of our slides in PDF format later on. If you have questions, the GoToWebinar tool has a questions panel. You can post your questions in there. If it's something that I can answer, I'll take care of it. If it's not something I know the answer to, I'll hold the question for Patrick and Stephen to take care of later on. And I believe that takes care of all of our housekeeping chores for the day. Stephen, you want to take it away?
All right, absolutely. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the session today. As Lisa said, we're going to talk a little bit about network technology. Patrick, I don't know about you, but this is a hot topic whenever I go into the academic community and work with our customers and talk with our schools that are looking at some of our certification tracks, and they come across network technology associate, and it just strikes a chord in some people and not so much in others. So let's see what we're going to do this morning. We're going to talk just a little bit about who you're actually hearing today. As Lisa mentioned, James is not here with us this week, out sailing somewhere, I think, or diving or something. But he said wherever he was, he would not get a good internet connection, so we'll miss him. We're going to talk about what CIW is, just real briefly, for those of you who are our first-time attendees. Then we're going to talk about NTA, the Network Technology Associate Certification, how we've updated it, what it actually covers, how it fits in with preparing students for today's workforce. And then we're going to talk a little bit about instructor materials, how it helps you in the classroom, availability, and open it up for questions. So, sound all right, Patrick?
That sounds great, Stephen.
Okay, just a little bit about us. A lot of you probably know me or have heard me co-present with James several times. I'm the certification specialist for the CIW program. I'm basically an education consultant. I work with departments of education, both in the U.S. and somewhat international, working with customers on getting the right program into your mix. I also run a lot of professional development training programs. So I get to work a lot of one-on-one with instructors and with school systems, getting the feel for what's going on in our academic community, and working also with corporate and business entities as far as skill sets that to include within the curriculum. So, and Patrick, I'm going to let you turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, thanks, Stephen. Yes, I'm Patrick Lane. I'm a IT professional and an educator. I started developing back in the 90s, started developing curriculum. I got a master's degree in education and a California State teaching credential with the cross-cultural and academic development emphasis. And I was going to be a school teacher, and then I got picked up by a curriculum development company and really got into networking in particular. So I was going to be developing curriculum, but then I decided to go into networking. So I got my Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer plus Internet, my Microsoft Certified Trainer certifications, and then began running servers. And it was mostly student servers, like email servers and web servers that would help the students in the classroom, give them services to access. At the time that I also helped develop the CIW program back in its infancy with OMPABRI, and then joined CompTIA to help on their Network Plus advisory committee and help develop the CompTIA Network Plus exam there back in the late 90s. And then moved to an enterprise, a corporate enterprise, where was able to help launch a learning content management system for an 11,000 user organization, which was really fun, using, at the time, Microsoft Server 2003 and SharePoint and IIS. And from those experiences, then, I was able to always continue writing curriculum. And so I co-wrote a few textbooks, a few books, like Hack-Proofing Linux, which was a really good book, sold at Barnes & Noble and such. And I actually co-wrote that with James Stanger, who's on this call, or who's not on this call, but rather, is a big part of CIW, as you all know. And Stephen, that's pretty much taken me up to this point, because what I've been doing lately is curriculum development, and then also I've been doing IT services on the side as a contractor and consultant. And that takes me up to today, Stephen. Thanks for letting me ramble on.
No, that's all right. That's all right. You do a better self-introduction than I do, I think. But you do have a lot of experience in networking. You've done a lot of work in developing the NTA program, and I think a lot of that has to plays in with today's session, especially with your experience with CompTIA and the Network Plus, because I'm asked that question a lot. How does NTA, how well does that go along with preparing students for the Network Plus certification, or where does it fit in along those lines? And so that's definitely something that we can talk about today during our session, and something that you can help fill in the gaps for others.
Oh, sure. Yes, Stephen, one of the reasons why I talk so much was just because I want everyone to know that the skills that I have was, I suppose, well aligned with assisting in the development of this course, and that's why I'm really glad that you've invited me to be on this call, because I'm excited to talk about NTA, this new version of it, which I think is really relevant to today's networking environment.
It really is, and hopefully we're gonna show that. So. All right, we have to do the 2-minute sales pitch for CIW, introducing anyone who is on the call for the first time, just what CIW is. We are a skills-based education standard, and really our purpose is to provide an overview that encapsulates all of technology, especially with our Web Foundations course, associate course, that intro to IT, so to speak, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. We're vendor neutral. We're not vendor absent. So we like to give people an understanding of what solutions are out there, how it fits in with your technology training, your technology sources, and show just exactly what types of skill sets employers are looking for, and preparing you for that type of employment. We are a globally accepted certification. We are international, as I mentioned. I do a lot of work working with customers with our UK office and our international office, talking with different customers. We have a unique approach to training because we are skills-based, providing the skills that employers are looking for. We provide technical solutions as well as soft skills solutions in there, because that's what employers are really looking for. As far as on the technical side, CIW was recently named by Internet.com as one of the top developer certifications to have. We came in number 3 on that list, right in back of Microsoft and Oracle's Sun certification. So that's pretty good company to be in, I believe. You've got 2 vendor-specific certs right in front of us, and then vendor-neutral cert in there. And of course, you can follow the link when you get your copy of the presentation to read the article in its entirety. But as I mentioned, we are really that stepping stone series of courses to get in there, putting people on a lifelong track or path for certification, increasing as you go through the job skills for higher level jobs. Where do we get this information from? We work very closely with academic and government and for-profit companies that basically give us the input as far as the type of skill sets that we should be covering within our certifications and within our courseware. We take that feedback very seriously. when putting our courses together. Different types of job roles in CIW and how skill sets really set you apart. And I love some of these numbers, and of course you've got the links that go along with it. That really does show. A lot of times, Patrick, I hear, well, anybody can get certified. Does it really show or help you get a job? And these are some really proof positive numbers that really show that, yeah, certification does actually help you out in the job market. Traditional e-commerce specialist, 63,000 here in the U.S., and e-commerce specialist that's CIW certified. A good jump increase. And then again, same for JavaScript. You can see a positive trend going there for the different types of salaries. Again, for the database specialists, working with database, understanding the database design theory. And again, these values are in U.S. We've got similar numbers and similar proof that the same is true for the U.K. as well. Positions there. Traditional web designer, very good difference between someone that is just going in with a little experience, looking for a web designer position, as opposed to one that is CIW certified with it. Again, because the certification focuses in on skill sets required to be a top developer. And then what people are saying about the CIW certification, we've got a lot of really good positive feedback from people that have used the product, used the certification, and have found it very useful for people that they're bringing on board. So, and again, all of these quotes and the articles that specifically mention them will be available. All right, so let's jump in, Patrick, and let's talk a little bit about Network Technology Associate. Again, as I mentioned, a lot of people that I talk with, they either really like the Network Technology Associate course or it really strikes fear into them. And a lot of just has to deal with the terms network technology. But really, what network technology is, it's an introductory course, and that's one thing I keep telling people. You have to remember, it's introductory. We need to understand, especially in our wired community today, or wireless communities today, just how important network technology is. We're dealing with network technologies on a daily basis, interacting with our mobile devices, our computers, our refrigerators that are able to connect to the internet to keep an inventory of what we have in stock. Our cars, that now have onboard computers built into them, how they're functioning, troubleshooting. It's going to become, what happens all of a sudden if I can't connect anything? It helps to have a basic understanding of network technology. We need to ramp up on the knowledge for the internet. Technical workers, pre-Cisco, various web technology positions that are available. Non-technical workers. We create power workers with that foundation series. If we were talking about the web design specialist certification, I'd be saying, there's a lot of administrative position job roles out there that are now responsible for web design for small businesses. And the same thing's true for maintaining telephone system support. Who are the first people we're going to call if I sit down at the computer and can't connect to the internet? I'm going to probably call somebody in the office. And that very well may, in a small business, that very well may be an administrative assistant. Hey, why are we not connected? What's going on? And especially in our younger audiences, our kids are growing up today in a network-connected world. And so a good understanding of how we connect,